How's it going? This is going to be a video update from my previous one. When I first did this review, the gun was 100%, using 115 grain Blazer brass and aluminum cases. I was kind of happy that that it was, and I thought I had gotten one of those working right out of the box 938s, because people had problems with running 115 grain. So I was excited about that. Unfortunately, after subsequent range trips, I did use Winchester white box. At that point, I had thought, if it runs Blazer brass, which is in my mind cheaper value ammunition, it should work with Winchester white box. Well, it ended up being the opposite, that the Blazer brass was actually a little higher quality than the Winchester white box. Winchester white box gave countless failure to feeds, failures to extract, and actually they were mostly failure to extract. I'm sorry, but there were also some feeding issues. So I went and kind of looked more into the gun, and basically tried to see what things I can improve at my end without sending it back to Sig. And well, long story short, I did some fluff and buff, and I did some work. I'll do some another video on that to go into the specifics on what I did. But basically, they recommend a break-in period for this gun. If you call Sig, it's like 500 or 600 rounds. I guess since it's 1911-ish, normally a 1911 takes around 500 rounds to break in. And they want you to use high quality ammo. Well, right now it's kind of tough to get high quality 9mm self-defense ammo. It's hard to find basic target ammo. So that wasn't an option. Plus, I didn't want to spend money on expensive ammo. I have heard before online that some people have, right out of the box, used Winchester white box, Monarch 115 grain, 100%. So I'm like, you know what? If those guns can do it, my gun can do it. So after doing the fluff and buff and the polishing things, which again I'll cover in another video, I successfully think I corrected that problem, and this gun is now, I'm gonna say, 100% using cheap ammo. I was able to get 200 rounds of Monarch. I mean, how cheap can you get? And it was steel, and it had lacquer on it, and this baby ran it after the polishing that I did. I ran today 100 rounds of Monarch.
All right, the unit. Ya arriba le hicieron como... When you coming back? I'll give you a call during the week. Next week I'm off, so...
Another one. Finish them off. One more. Nice. Awesome. Good job. Yesterday, I believe, I ran another 100. I only had one failure, and I contribute that to the magazine, which I went on ahead and worked on. shot with these in ages. The 238 to the 938 come with that. What does that do to Sig?
Yeah, 938.
933. Now if I have my 270 and my 260. The last round somehow just jumped out of the chamber. I'm thinking that the magazine in itself was the issue. I want to say that it was 100%, but technically I can't because, well, you know, that happened. But I'm going to contribute that to a magazine-related problem. But in my mind, what I thought was the issue was that before the round was actually going into the chamber, somehow I think the follower triggered the slide lock to the back, and somehow, you know, the round being pushed up, it just basically, you know, went out of the gun. But I've already corrected that, and I did have to adjust the sights on this. They were shooting slightly to the left. I think that's a common problem. I had a Glock sight pusher. I used it. It's not necessarily like recommended for it, but I did it anyways. But again, I'll post updates on that as well. But so it now hits point of aim, point of impact. And aside from that, the fluff and buff that I did, the work on the magazines, I love this gun. I love it. The only thing that I'm going to probably work later on is the poundage to see if I can maybe lighten it myself. I'm at least not bleeding anymore, but I do get blisters. Hopefully lightening up the trigger pull, if I'm able to, will alleviate this problem.